Yes, everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode of the finished article, All Things Sky Blue. I've got my homeboy Richard Home back with us again today, and we've got an absolutely jam-packed episode for you today. We're going to be covering the Barnsley game where Coventry City won 2-0 at the weekend. We'll then be looking away quickly at the Stoke game tonight, where we play Stoke City away. And then we're going to cover some great escape stories in line with Coventry trying to beat relegation. So, first of all, Rich, how you doing? I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks, mate.
Nice. All right, so let's get straight into it. So, Coventry Barnsley, as you probably guys know, Cov beat Barnsley 2-0 over the weekend with goals from Dom Hyam with a wonder strike off an assist of Maxime Biamu. And then your boy Matty Godden putting the ball in the back of there. Good to see him back on. But Rich, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it was another good performance, another game where we were the better side. I mean, Wilson had a bit more to do than he did against Rotherham, and he did keep us in front. He came off his line a couple of times, narrowed down the angle, kept us in front. But yeah, it was a great performance. Two fantastic finishes. First by Hyam after a great build-up by Biamu.
Yeah.
And Biamu, I know in a few weeks' time we're going to do one of these where we discuss who we want to keep and who needs to go. And I'm going to have a lot of thinking to do about that podcast.
No, indeed.
Because
I have to say, just to add on to what you said, Biamu is the unsung hero here. He's been with us, I believe, since League 2, and he's still pulling his weight in Championship. Yes, he doesn't have the goals, but you know what? Absolute class of a player, team player. Legend in my opinion, and you know what, love him for everything he's done for City. But yeah, carry on, Rich, go for it.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but Biamu's probably been involved in more goals than Godden and Walker this season. If you count goals that have come from his chasing. So
no, absolutely. I mean, I think this is one of the things that we said, that you've got players that, whilst they don't score a lot of goals, they do a lot for the team. So that Biamu puts a shift in, always throws himself around the pitch. He's got some crucial goals for us. I mean, I remember the goal he scored against Norwich, where we got Norwich away, where we got the point. So kudos to him for that. But you know what? I was really happy with City's performance of the weekend. We could have scored probably a third as well. Matty Godden hit the keeper, but you know what? Barnsley were in contention for promotion, still are. Great performance, especially when no one really expected us to get anything from the game. But I mean, my man of the match for me, I would have to say it was Max Biamu for just for unselfish play. And what a goal by Dom Hyam. I'd never see it. I think Ostergaard scored against Rotherham, and now Hyam scoring against Barnsley. I mean, our defenders are getting on the act. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. I mean, it's a lovely finish. A second goal beyond Godden's goal, and he could have had a third, as you say, which would have made the game look. It would have made it look like we hammered them.
Yeah,
it's funny how football works. If that chance from Godden had gone in right at the end, 3-0.
Yeah.
But we were the better team. If someone was watching and didn't know which team was challenging for the playoffs and which team was battling for relegation, they would have probably have put us as the team that were challenging. So
I don't disagree with that. I think Coventry played well, and I mean, in terms of the overall impact it had, so the Sky Blues went 9 points clear of relegation, and it's going to be interesting. So Coventry have 4 games left, starting with Stoke tonight. So without further ado, let's move on to our next topic. So we got Stoke City away. As the saying goes, can the City do it on a cold Wednesday night at Stoke? I'm gonna let Rich kick off with his thoughts on this.
I think we can. I feel very, very confident. Stoke mid-table, haven't really got anything to play for, and I think we're going to get the win tonight. We're probably already safe now in terms of, I can't see both Rotherham and what's this come up on my screen? I can't see both Rotherham and Derby both both getting to 48 points, which is what we're on. But another win tonight would give us 51, and we'd actually be looking at mid-table. If we'd be close to mid-table, relegation game will win tonight.
Exactly, with a couple of wins and results going our way, we could be as high as I think 14th, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Rich, on that, I mean, I know you touched upon it, but I mean, with Rotherham also playing tonight, Sheffield Wednesday having picked up a win last night, I never really saw them as contenders. I think Wickham are down. I mean, do you think that we've just about done enough, or do we still need to probably scrape out another win or two, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think mathematically, we need another 4, don't we? That's presuming Derby and Rotherham win the rest of their games.
Correct,
But we're not going to need 4. 1 or 2 points at the most. A win tonight, more or less certain, will do it for us. Just checking, can you still see me all right? Because I've had something pop up in the middle of my screen that I can't get rid of.
No, I can see you perfectly, my friend.
That's all right. I can't see you, but it's a technical issue on my side.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. I'll bring up the stats on my side if you need anything. But guys, before we proceed on to the special of this episode, please, as you can see the ticker below, leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. Please share this channel with all your social media and other people that might be interested. And as always, without your support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So anyway, moving on to the main topic of today's episode. I'm going to let Rich touch upon this because he wanted me to cover this. So we're talking Great Escape stories in line with Coventry City being back in the Championship for the first time in, how long has it been, 10 years? And trying to stave off relegation. So this is a special that Rich has asked us to cover. So let's go straight into it. So Rich, I'll bring up the facts. I don't know if you want me to read them through and then you talk through them. Let me know.
Yep.
Can you see the screen, or do you want me to go through?
Yeah, I can't see. I've got some nonsense up in the screen. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. The first fact we're going to bring up is City survived on the final day in 10 out of 34 top flight seasons. I think for me that's an impressive stat. Great to see that City are survival specialists. For me, I enjoyed the 97 relegation stave up where we beat Spurs on the final day to stave up. That for me was a memory that I can remember. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Derby County game the week before. It was the last home game of the season. We lost 2-1. I was actually at that game with Mr. John Redfern, who's one of our most regular viewers. So shout out to you, John. But yeah, after the game, I just remember everyone around me thought we were down. Like me as a young 11-year-old at the time, I believed we were going to get out of it. The naivety of an 11-year-old, but everybody around me was just so down and depressed because we had to go to Tottenham Hotspur the following Sunday. We needed to win. We needed Middlesbrough and Sunderland to both drop points. So yeah, we were pretty much down and out. Gordon Strachan had took over as manager halfway through the season after Ron Atkinson had moved upstairs to director of football.
Yeah,
that was the official line anyway. Yeah, Spurs. We had to go to Spurs, and kickoff actually got delayed 15 minutes.
Kickoff was delayed on the day.
Yeah. I mean, we have a history of delayed kickoffs on the last day of the season when Sunderland are involved, but there was we had to win this game regardless, so they can't complain about this one. But we and then Middlesbrough ended up drawing 1-1. Sunderland lost 1-0 to Wimbledon.
Yeah,
Middlesbrough had a very good team that year. They had Jorginho, Fabrizio Ravanelli. They actually got to 2 cup finals, but they'd had a 3-point deduction for failing to fulfil a fixture, which hadn't helped their cause. And they drew 1-1 with Leeds that day. And with the last 15 minutes left to go in our game, we knew that all we had to do was hang on to win. Dublin and Williams had put us 2-0 up. Spurs had got one back. And then second half, Steve Grizovic made 2 blinding saves.
Indeed.
To keep us in the game. He would have been knocking on 40 at this time, but he still had it.
He did.
I believe Strachan, I can't remember if he actually came on in that game. I don't think he did, but he was player manager at the time. He'd actually come and played for a few games for us in the last few games of the season, had himself on the bench. I remember them pictures of him on the touchline in his looking like he's ready to come on. But I've heard stories.
Strachan was an unused sub in that game. Yeah.
I've heard stories he actually brought back Big Ron to give the team talk at half time. Strachan, young manager at the time. And that might have been a stroke of genius by Strachan. Because we stayed up, and then the following year we actually had a very good season where we came 11th in the Premiership.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's move on to the next stat that you got, Rich. So we got in both 1977 and 97, Sunderland were relegated from the top flight when City overtook them on the final day.
Yep. So, I mean, the 77 one, obviously before our time, but we could probably do a whole. If Sunderland come up this season, when we play them next season, we could probably do a whole podcast on that because we were playing. The story goes we were playing Bristol City last game of the season. The loser of that game would be relegated. If it was a draw, Coventry would go down unless Sunderland lost to Everton. And again, due to crowd congestion, the kickoff was delayed. Some say it was Jimmy Hill was behind the decision to delay the kickoff, who was chairman of Coventry at the time. Although he always maintained it was a police decision. I suppose only those that were around at the time can give an honest answer to that. This screen is very annoying. But Coventry went 2-0 ahead. Bristol City got it back to 2-2. Then with 15 minutes to go, with the the news coming through that Sunderland had lost 2-0 to Everton.
Yeah, they played out for it.
Jimmy Hill had it flashed on the scoreboard, although I'm guessing most fans in the ground had the radios tuned in, so knew anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
15 minutes to go, Coventry and Bristol just knew they needed to play out a draw and both would be safe, and the rest is history.
The rest is indeed it.
Sunderland fans, a lot of the older Sunderland fans still haven't forgiven us, but football's football.
Indeed. Anyway, moving on. So the next one we've got is City escaped relegation on the final day in 2015 when we won 2-1 at Crawley and stayed in League One.
Yeah, I mean, I had one hell of a hangover that day. I'd actually been out with work colleagues the night before the game. I think we were fairly confident we were going to stay up. We needed a point to guarantee it, but we needed the results for us to go down. Other results would have to have gone against us as well. So this weren't our greatest compared to the Spurs one. This wasn't our great escape. But I remember waking up that Sunday morning, one hell of a hangover. I very nearly didn't go to the game. I actually texted my mate and said, should we give it a miss? But I had his ticket, so I had to go into town to meet him. And he just sent me a text back saying, no, we've got to go. The City need us. So, into town I went. Weatherspoons was shut. I remember being quite annoyed. And then got on the coach, went to Crawley, and goals for we actually went 1-0 down. The German guy we had up front for us on loan, I can't pronounce the guy's name, began with a P. He actually missed a penalty in the first half. As it happened, we would have stayed up anyway due to results elsewhere, but Marcus Tudgay and James Maddison scored and we won the game 2-1. And yes, it was another great escape under Tony Mowbray, who had come in to replace Stephen Presley with a few games to go.
Absolutely. And moving on now. So this might be one that most can remember fittingly, the last game at Highfield Road. So City beat Derby 6-2 and confirmed championship survival. Last game at Highfield Road brings a lot of memories, Rich?
Yeah, what a weekend that was. It wasn't a great season. Peter Reid had been brought in at the start of the season to replace Eric Black, and that's another one where we could probably do a whole podcast on it. The season hadn't gone well. In about January time, Reid was sacked and City old boy Mickey Adams came in to manage the club. I think in about March time, we had dipped into the relegation zone. I remember us having a couple of big home games with Brighton and Nottingham Forest in the space of a week, where we needed to get something. We won both of them. That Forest game under the lights, we'd actually got Sean Goater playing for us. We'd actually got him on loan from Manchester City. And just a quick mention. I'm going off on a tangent. I know the Super League's already been spoken about, but these talks about relegation battles. I think, speaking of Manchester City, it's this relegation battles are part of football. It's not nice when your team's part of one. But you know we were both buzzing after the Rotherham game last week.
Yeah, we were, absolutely.
And these foreign owners, they just don't understand. They don't understand that. I mean, Manchester City, great club they are. They're a proper football club. Back in they got relegated from the Premiership same year as us. Obviously, they got back up again. We've gone down very different paths since then, the two clubs. But their fans themselves will have great memories and been through a lot of the stuff we've been through. The long-term fans, and without going off on a tangent, relegation battles, part of football, part of the excitement of our game, and what these owners attempted to do over these past couple of days is absolutely disgraceful. But
no, absolutely agree.
Going back to the last game at Highfield Road, I think it was the second to last game of the season, last home game, and I can't remember if we needed to win or we needed a point, but with the occasion, we had to win that game. It was a sellout, one of the best atmospheres of a football match I've ever been to. I remember that whole weekend. It was bank holiday weekend. The whole town was buzzing. Day before, day after, and I remember going up there. McSheffrey put us 1-0 ahead, and then and then he got us a second with a penalty that Mo Cognac had given away. Mo Cognac, playing for Derby at the time, had an absolute nightmare.
He did, yeah.
What a legend he is. He still refers to it as one of the best days of his career. But we were actually 4-0 up at half time. Adebola and Stern John, and then second half, further 2 goals from Stern John got his second. Andy Wing scored an absolute screamer, last ever goal at Highfield Road, and fans on the pitch. Jimmy Hill in the stands leading the Sky Blue song with John Sillett. Yeah, and then we actually had Crew away the following week. We'd sold out our allocation in anticipation for it being a game we needed to get something from. As it happened, we were already safe. Yeah. Crew actually beat us on the final day to stay up themselves. I remember a few Gillingham supporters not being too happy that day because they got relegated instead of Crew. So
that's true. By the way, guys, moving on to the last one. Then in 1985, City successfully beat the drop despite needing to win all 3 of the last 3 games.
Yep, another one that was before our time, but a lot of games had been called off as the season was drawing to a close. And I think the season had finished, but Coventry still had 3 games to play. Yeah, we had to win all 3 of them. I think they were against Stoke, Luton, and last game of the season was against league champions Everton. Believe the Stoke game, I think we beat Stuart Pearce got the goal. Yeah, what a player he went on to be for Nottingham Forest and England. I've got a sneaky feeling. I mean, I'd have to look this up, but I've got a sneaky feeling Grizovic saved a late penalty in that game. So, I'd have to look that one up. But the Luton game, it was a late goal by Brian Kilcline. Another one we needed to win, and that kept the battle on. So it went to the last game of the season. Everton, already champions, beat them 4-1 on a Sunday afternoon at Highfield Road.
Indeed, indeed.
Year before, well, year you were born, year before I was born.
Yeah, absolutely, and absolutely. But you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to go through these memories, Rich. I mean, I think these are the memories that most City fans want to cover. And you know what? We're hoping that this season doesn't be as anticlimactic as that. I think we're pretty much mostly safe, as you've said. But it'd be interesting to see how we perform tonight against Stoke. But guys, been an absolute pleasure having you on board. Rich, thank you very much for joining me again. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on another episode of All Things Sky Blues. Until then, play up Sky Blues, and we'll see
you. Thanks, mate. Play up Sky Blues.
Stay with mate.